Yeah. What's going on? Welcome back. What's going on? Welcome back. I'm trying to get used to this new microphone. If you can hear me clearly, please let me know. If you can't hear me, especially, please do let me know. I'm a little bit under the weather. So, as a matter of fact, right now, I think, let me see. Let's turn off that background noise. Welcome back, welcome back. I'm going to try to make it here as much as possible live. So please make sure you're supporting, hitting the like button, the share button, and all of that, and I'm paying attention to the topics that you want to hear the most. So with that, without any further ado, let's get started. Today we're going to be covering, I don't know, you saw the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about this guy. What's his name again? Let me pull up the name. His name came out today, I think maybe late last night. It looks like they were not trying to reveal the name at first. We're talking about the gunman who basically entered a supermarket in Buffalo, I think it's New York, and he started basically deleting people. He deleted about 10 people. Unfortunately, these are the events that are going on in this world right now. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about. I'm trying to pull up his name. Let me see. His name is Payton Payton Gendron, something like that. Payton S. Gendron or Gendron. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're also going to talk about the Lapeef network as usual. We're going to review two videos. I think two videos we're going to review. There was one issue about vasectomy. If you follow me on Instagram, you already saw that I posted that. I'm going to play that video actually. We're also going to react to a couple of things. So I'm going to keep it short and concise. We're also going to, as usual, extract some of the lessons from these things. That's my mission here. I want to use some of this material. Shout out to the Lapeef Network and all the panel members up there. They do great work with some of this content. We need to have this conversation, but unfortunately, from my side, from my point of view, I feel like they really, because of the argument, basically what create the show that we enjoy. Uh, they don't ever really get to the solution. Granted, it's the way it's a show, it's supposed to be that way. But over here, I promise I will continue to extract some of the lessons in some of these conversations because honestly, what's the point if we're not going to get to the solution, right? They try their best, but again, it's a panel. They're supposed to argue. It's a show. It's entertainment for the most part. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. So those are the two things that I want to cover today. Without any further ado, just let me let you know right now that yes, I do run a business here. We have a few things that we do here. So any way where you can patronize, support, even if it's just an ordinary like, hitting that like button, watching some of the episodes, binge watching them in the background, listening in the background. Any one of those things will be very helpful to support the mission. All right, without any further ado, let's get started. And these are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. All right, so we're talking about this thing right here, this story that broke out yesterday. It's sad that we have this kind of situation happening. Um, this is our weakness in the Western world. We have people that don't have real problems creating real problems for themselves. We have people that have too much opportunities and privilege, just looking for more ways to create more problems for themselves. So effectively, we end up with problems, right? So if you listen to what I just said closely, I'm not saying that we don't have problems. I'm saying that a lot of the problems that we have are basically self-inflicted. I mean, look at the situation right now. It's a world that basically, we can say the Western world has done very well for itself to create easy world. If you compare it to like African or some of the third world countries around the world, we don't suffer from basic needs. I mean, you and I can basically bet that this light is not going to blink. 99% chance, right? Where I'm from, as far as heritage is concerned, I was born in the United States, but my heritage, my parents, the way I was raised, uh, is basically 99% that in the next 1 hour, this light is going to blink. We're not going to have power, literally for hours, right? Simple stuff that we enjoy, like water running, um, gas, all this kind of things that we enjoy, energy, right? Being able to turn on the TV, the phones. This is stuff that's basically luxury for many people in other parts of the world. But in the Western world, what we do, we don't have this problem, so we create problems, sadly. So I'm gonna go through this really quickly and talk about some of it. So this guy basically yesterday ran into a store. Okay, he drove. The authorities, I mean, the news is saying he drove 2 to 3 hours just to target this particular area because it's a lot of black people. It's a black community, from what I'm reading, and started just shooting people up. He deleted about 10 people. Okay, meaning he took their lives, and he injured about 13 people in total. So anyway, so there's this news on New York Times. President Biden, I'm reading, okay? President Biden called for a thorough investigation and said there was no harbor for hate-filled domestic terrorism. The 18-year-old white gunman who pleaded not guilty left behind a manifesto. It's crazy, right? Let me play this real quickly. Let's see. The police said the gunman, let me just see, let's see if we can get rid of that real quickly, who they described as 18 years old. 18 years old white man. Let me see if I can get this up. Let's see. Oh, there you go. I'm not sure. Okay, there you go.
Punishment we have in New York State. He was remanded, has been arraigned on murder in the first degree, which is the highest murder charge in New York State. Carries with it a sentence of life without parole, the highest punishment we have in New York State. He was remanded. The judge ordered a forensic examination.
What's going on, information man? What's going on?
In 5 days, and then the investigation continues. So we have taken the appropriate steps right now to get him behind bars. We got a murder first charge already filed against him. We are now investigating terrorism charges, other murder charges, along with working with our partners in the federal government so that they can perhaps file charges as well. So I assure everyone in this community, justice is being done right now, and
So of course, due process before they charge him for the obvious, right? This is terrorism. It is what it is, right? But some of the part of the conversation that we need to continue to talk about is the racism part of this, right? Why would an 18 years old what is going on with an 18-year-old that they feel the need to do such a terrible act, right? Racism, hatred, motivated, all this kind of stuff, right? Where like people don't fall out of the skies with this type of mindset or ideology, right? We're looking at a symptom of greater problems in our society. Listen, I understand that it's racism, but when you start to dig deeper, we're also talking about it's a hate crime, and there's all kind of hate crime can come from all different places. Now, that's not to discount the fact that it's racism, right? But it's also to let's be aware that there's a bigger problem in society that we need to continue to address. We've done everything else. We do better, technology, making life easier, right? Being able to communicate with thousands of people around the world just by turning up a microphone and turning on the camera. We have all these good things, but also we need to start to remember, start to pay attention to the fact that all the technology we are creating, every single one of them is double-edged sword, right? I mean, this guy was live streaming this event. Now, he was live streaming on Twitch. Twitch claimed that they took down the live stream within 2 minutes, but that's 2 minutes too late. Because again, 10 people were deleted from this earth just like that. Right? The police said the gunman, who they described as 18-year-old white man from outside the city, was motivated by racism. He appeared in court hours after the shooting and pleaded not guilty. Now, that's the joke of the century, but I'm sure somebody's going to be actively trying to see if they can get away with this. That's what they have them, right? Excuse me, I'm under the weather if you hear me wheezing a little bit. So sorry, I'll take a sip of water. I try not to do that, but. All right. To charges of first degree murder. All right, so okay, Buffalo, a teenage gunman and entranced by a white supremacist ideology. I want us to pay attention to this. Listen, as black people, we have a tendency to pay more attention to this, understandably so, than this part, right? At the end of the day, this is an ideology, and ideologies are very powerful. If you touch the wrong nerves, people would take this madness to an entirely different level beyond what your intentions were. I understand ideologies were born sometimes out of trying to create a solution, sometimes out of pain, real life pain, real life experiences that people have gone through, and then you create ideologies that were supposed to solve the problem. But if you know anything about the human experience, every time we solve a new problem, we tend to create new problems. Every time we solve a problem, we tend to create new problems without paying attention to the problems we are creating. This is true for every phenomenon in life, right? And just the awareness is really what I'm trying to call your attention to. Be aware that when you're solving a problem, for the most part, you are creating a new problem. And just be aware so that you can also mitigate those new problems you're creating, right? So who knows? Is there any justification for white supremacists? No, that's actually irrelevant. But this is the reality. White supremacy is the reality, sadly, right? But then we have somebody following the ideology, right? Right? And they're following the ideology. They have their reason, terrible reasons, of course, right? But they have their reasons for believing whatever they believe is still an ideology, right? All right, it's known as replacement theory. You heard that, right? Replacement theory. This is basically a bunch of young people believing bullshit that's never been proven, but it becomes real in their heart, and they can for real destroy people. We have to be careful when we're pushing certain rhetorics. We have to be very careful when we push some of these rhetorics, okay? That you and I will wholly believe that this is going to be a solution, but again, we tend to create new problems with some of the rhetorics that we push. All right, so that's really the main purpose of this live stream. I will continue to point that out as we go. All right, so let me continue here. Methodically, okay, so replacement theory opened fire at a supermarket on Buffalo on Saturday, methodically shooting and deleting 10 people and injuring 3 more. Almost all of them black. Almost all of them black. It's sad, right? In one of the deadliest racist massacres in recent American history. Now, here's the bad part about this. This is one of the bad, but here's one of the worst part about this, right? I didn't really find out until 7 hours later, right? Because honestly, I kind of disconnected from some of the media channels. It's just to have some peace of mind, because there's just too much going on all around the world, right? But something like this is happening. I'm in the tri-state area myself, almost in my backyard, and we don't know it's going on. But somebody knows. Somebody's family which just got taken out yesterday, right? All right. The authorities identified the gunman as Payton S. Gendron of Conklin, a small town in New York's rural southern tier. Mr. Gendron drove more than 200 miles to mount his attack, which he also live streamed, the police said, a chilling video feed that appeared designed to promote the sinister agenda. Obviously this is a person that had nothing to lose, or at least he felt. He felt he had nothing to lose. Of course, he had a lot to lose. I want you to start paying attention to feelings. We push certain rhetorics and we don't understand that we're creating feelings in people, right? Your rhetorics are coming from your feelings. You're creating new feelings in people, and you just never know to what level they're going to take it. You just may be like, hey, I'm just speaking the truth, right? You're just trying to make a better society. But there's somebody else that's starting to feel like I have nothing to lose anyway. They sing that same rhetoric, they take it to the next level. And you may say it's none of your business, but it's really none of your business until it is, right? So let's start paying attention to some of this. Shortly after Mr. Gendron was captured, a manifesto believed to have been posted online by the government emerged, riddled with racist, anti-immigrant views. Now we have even black people with a lot of anti-immigrant views. They're trying to do the right thing, but again, you never know when somebody's gonna take your ideology to the next level. I'm just calling your attention to it. I could be wrong, right? But something we need to really start to assess, right? How do we create new problems for ourselves while trying to solve one problem? Especially as quote unquote a conquered people. Because again, if we're going to talk about white supremacy, you have to acknowledge that in a lot of aspects, in a lot of dimensions, we are a conquered people as colored black people. It's something we need to start paying attention to. And we don't have to remain conquered, but we should start a conversation. We should start to acknowledge the position where we are in society. If we're going to have any chance to fix it, engage power, take back power, because power is going to be taken. It's not going to be given. If you take it, so you're never going to give it. It's just a reality. All right. In the video, what appeared to have been captured by the camera affixed to his helmet, an anti-black racial slur can be seen on the barrel of his weapon. So he actually, I think there was N-word written all over his weapon. The attack at the Tops Friendly Market in a largely black neighborhood. Anyway, I think you guys can find this and read this online. I just wanted to point out this part right here, right? This is sad that this is happening, all right? But let's take advantage of this very sad situation to start having some of the conversations that we need to start having. The internet is a double-edged sword. We're having lots of conversation on the internet. There is war between every groups of people you can think about, right? There's the gender war, there's a racial war, and a lot of them is ideology driven, even religion, political, right? A lot of it is ideology driven. A lot of it, as we're sitting inside of our house in a studio, and we're pushing certain conversation directly or indirectly, and you don't realize that somebody is taking this very seriously. You may hear somebody say, hey, you're spewing some hateful stuff, and you may be like, no, you're taking me out of context. Well, somebody's going to take you out of context and actually act out of it. Am I blaming you for it? No, I'm not. I'm not blaming you. As a matter of fact, I think blaming is part of the problem. But I think we should pay attention. I think we should start to pay some of this, pay attention to the effect, the negative effect, the downside of some of the rhetorics we're pushing. Sometimes just spelling them out is all we need to do. Like say, hey, we're saying this. We don't mean you to say, just say it out fully and say, hey, we're saying that women should be held accountable. However, you need to understand that when you engage a person romantically, that conversation will contain a lot of cap in it, right? And you may be capping a lot. You may just be the person not holding yourself accountable, while you're trying to hold another person accountable. That's going to backfire. When you're engaging a person in a romantic way, the conversation, the application to that conversation will be slightly different. We're not spelling all those things out. We're basically capping. We're basically just talking, and we don't realize that there's a little child, an 18-year-old child somewhere that's taken, and it happens in every community. I am not exonerating anyone of white supremacy. If you understand what I am saying, if you actually know what white supremacy is, right, you will understand that it's a system. It's not a particular person, right? It's a system that's sadly the product of past behavior of humans, but it's a system at this point. We need to attack it as a system and not necessarily attacking it as a person. Because when you attack certain ideologies as a person, or you're attacking a person saying it, it's only natural that you take an offense. You're attacking the person back, right? You're creating a war zone, even though you mean well, even though you had good intentions, right? So that's some of the things that I feel like we need to start to have, right? What's going on, Sir Hill? Thank you for coming through. Yeah, I'm waiting for that call, Sir Hill. What's going on, Black Man Unfiltered? What's going on, people? All right. Now, right about now, I want to go to react to some of this videos from. We all love the Lapeef Network. I do. Honestly, I do. Okay? Because they keep creating some of this content that, frankly, is creating a much needed conversation. You know? So, there's this video, this particular video. There are two videos I want to react to today. I'm under the weather. If I sound funny, sorry about that. All right. I think it's this video right here. This video right here. Okay. There's just two videos right here. There's two videos. One of them is wishing you hadn't had your kids, and the other one is I would have got a vasectomy if I could do it all over again. Right? And there was a video that was right here between this video and this Hush Puppy video, and they deleted the video. Let me refresh so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, let me actually show my screen. Sorry about that. All right, there you go. All right, so I'm on the Lapeef Network screen right now, right? So there's a video that was between this video and this Hush Puppy. This guy with the purple Anton Daniels robe. His name is Hush Puppy. So that's a different conversation. But between this video, this black women video thing, and this, there was a video that got deleted. But I found the video, and we're gonna talk about it, right? But before that, there's this video, there's two videos right here that I feel like we should review. So I'm actually gonna open that.
Check out this verbo.
And then we're gonna talk about it.
Here I am. Right.
On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Listen what I'm saying.
I'm saying I'm not listening. I can hear you very well. I
regret the person and the situation that I had children in. I don't regret the children. I love my children to death.
That's cute, but I heard what you said. So you didn't think about what you said before you said it. Stop saying that I'm not listening. I heard you well. What I heard you say is you wish you would have had a vasectomy prior to having the kids that you have.
All right, wait. So before we get into that, I think there's this other video. Let me see. Let's go back here. I think it's got to be this one. Yeah. Let me see. There's this one. Leaving his wife. Okay. Let me. Wishing you hadn't had. I think it's this one. Hey.
On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Rilla, I was kind of surprised by your.
All right. I'm just gonna fast forward.
There's a whole culture of niggas just talking about pumping and dumping.
So at the end of the night, you need to get your shit.
That's
go to your
right.
house.
No. Hey.
Why would you be over here?
Hey. Y'all get up off my queue. I got some work to do with her. I'm gonna fix it. Gonna get
And finds out his wife can't bear children. Is he wrong for leaving? No.
Should have.
I'm fasting forward.
He finds out his stuff.
But
Stay asleep, my brother. Children.
The first thing you that's the first thing me and I further.
Hey, really, but the average person.
One thing you chose. This the woman you said you wanted to do life with. You wanted to build legacy. Problem in a point. So easy for us to be hard.
that's an echo.
Hold on. I'm gonna go to logic. 'cause-
No.
but I-
Wait, I'm just
Patty
fasting
got
forward.
kids?
Hold on, Patty.
Oh, he
I'm
do
so
got a
just
kid.
prepare for
He got
this.
3
Damn.
kids.
Glad you got children.
This is what I
Yeah,
want.
he got
This is
children.
what I want.
My
young
bad.
Dusty. For purpose. They just pumping and dumping.
Okay, so it's gotta be the next one. This one. Let's play this.
That means, and I don't know me.
What you were saying, and I understood what I said. You're right.
Okay, it was this video. Sorry about that, guys. All right.
Rilla, I was kind of surprised by your answer. I'm gonna be honest. You did for me.
They're more intentional. They
Dick in her?
Let's just answer the question. Anyways, so as far as the question,
sir. You said it, sir. Hold on.
Stop.
You said it's debatable.
Vincent, no.
Now, let me prepare the ground. We're talking a lot on the internet. We have to be careful what we're saying. Another example is that, listen, you may come back and say, oh, let's delete this. I'm sure those of you that are content creators, you've seen this. Somebody says something and then they reach out to you and then they say, hey, can we delete that part? No. Even if they delete it, you have to be careful. Gentlemen, you have to be careful what you say on the internet because it can be used. You have to say what you say with your full chest and be careful what you say because it can be used against you for generations to come. That's really the gist of this whole vasectomy talking thing, right? So let me play.
Welcome to the
Are you
cry.
telling me
no.
that your
Hold
disdain?
on. Those who have sex didn't choose to have a child. Men don't choose to have children.
Yes, you
Women.
do.
So this is the normal manosphere talking about. Men don't choose to have children, right? I get it. I know where they're coming from. Because men, once you do your thing and you plant a seed in a person, you don't get to choose, even though you chose to plant your seed in a person, you don't, never mind that, right? You don't get to decide if you don't want the child anymore. That's really what we're trying to say. But we say like you don't choose if you have children or not. And that's what this gentleman is saying. Now, he's had, before this point in the live stream, he had a lot of talking point that was just obvious that he's a student of the manosphere. But again, we give people benefit of the doubt, right?
You put your dick inside of a woman. You've made
Whose
the
man
choice.
is this, bro?
Hold
Gotta
on.
be Logic.
Logic, is this your homie?
It's gotta be Logic's man.
Hold on.
Why is Logic facing upside down? This guy, man. Anyway,
I don't know
The
him.
men, hold on. They just
Who man is
literally
this, bro?
just went through the Senate this week. where
Wait,
they're
no,
trying
well,
to
did y'all
overturn
use a condom?
Roe v. Wade. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me speak.
Go ahead.
They just went through the Senate this week trying to overturn Roe v. Wade.
no, of course, there's a lot of information out there that they can use to justify bullshit. He's gonna spill a lot of bullshit right now. Just watch it.
About a woman's right to choose.
Mhm.
It is a woman's right to. Men only choose to have sex.
Yo, when y'all gonna let me get at this dude, bro?
No,
Yeah.
did you use a condom both times?
Let's go.
I just want to know, did he use
Hold
a
on, y'all.
condom
Hold
both
on. Hold
times?
on. They can't hear us, y'all. They can't hear
No,
us.
but you cannot. But see, if you come,
Now, there's a huge misconception when it comes to waking up early in the morning. The big
at him, debate the point that he made. He
That's
made
what I'm
that
saying.
man don't have a.
I'm very much ready to have that conversation.
No, but I'm just saying if you're gonna do it,
So this is what I was saying. I hate to link that hateful crime to this, right? When you say certain rhetoric, you need to be aware that you are potentially creating new problems, even though you had good intentions, right? You need to just be aware of that, right? Even though you're actively fighting for men's right, what additional problem are you creating? And that's what I want to point out with this vasectomy thing right here, okay? Even though he had a point, they had what's the name of the law they're talking about overturning it, right? The deleting babies type of topic, right? We get that. I completely agree with a lot of those things, a lot of those rhetorics. However, we're not paying attention to creating this type of conversation. And that's what I'm trying to point out.
debate what he said.
You gotta let me at it.
I listen. I take my fault in being irresponsible. I was irresponsible. However, yes. However,
more than that.
The pull-out game didn't work, Kayla. Stop.
All right, so let me go here. Let me go to my Instagram page. I'll play the actual clip for you just to make sure that we're on the same page with what this guy is talking about. Excuse me, 1 second. I opened it mistakenly different place. All right, this is the clip right here. Let's play this.
You have a child?
He has two.
I have two.
And then you got the vasectomy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish I had got it before both of them.
Jesus Christ, bro. I was with you.
What foolishness is that?
Because
Let
I
that
had
play
children with the
again.
wrong person.
But you got kids. You
Wait,
don't talk
okay,
about the
that's-
person. They're
that's
here
so
now.
different,
You don't
though.
love her?
I love my children. I just don't love the situation that I'm in with their mom.
You chose the baby mama. So
Out there for the
that-
ladies.
You said you have a. You
All
have-
right, so let me point out a few things. That's really where I could have just gone to my page, right? But I will play some more of you of the reaction to it. So he said, this is a guy who claimed he's speaking facts. Okay? Let's just face the facts. Never mind the emotions, any feelings, right? That's what he claims, right? But then it's cap. You know, I'm gonna call cap on this shit anyway, every day of the week, right? But I want you to pay attention to something, right? He was so much willing to speak fast. I say, men talk too fucking much these days. We need to slow down. We're talking too much. I understand we should speak our minds. I get it that we should talk a little bit more. But when it comes to the public, you have to be careful what you're pushing out there. Your children are going to watch this, right? And you may say, but that's not what I said. I said something different. But hey, if 7 people out of 10 people are interpreting what you said emotionally, you may want to pay attention to the emotions you're creating. It's just emotional intelligence, okay? It just makes sense so you don't shoot yourself on the legs and hurt yourself and the people you love in the process of speaking truth and facts. This is my job, my mission here to point out to you, okay? While you're speaking facts, remember you're creating new problems because at the end of the day, we're emotional beings. Evil men, right? Let's stop the cap. Evil men, right? So I want you to pay attention to, as much as you try to speak facts, I'm going to play it again. It's a very short 40-second clip, right? And I want you to pay attention to something.
You have a child?
Yes, too.
I have two.
And then you got the vasectomy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish I had got it before both of them.
Jesus Christ, bro. I was with you.
What foolishness is that?
No, we know Anton is a lot more connected emotionally to emotional stuff. We know that part, right? Which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all, right? Now, whatever point he was trying to win, he lost a lot of points, right? By saying that one thing. With who? With his own. Like, imagine his children. Imagine events happening in their life with his children 5 years from now. The children are now 17, 18 years, and they hear this, and the children are now able to use this as an ammunition against him and say, yeah, I saw a clip of you saying we are mistakes, literally, just because you had us with our mother, right? Oh, okay, I'm stretching it, right? Okay, wait. He's speaking so much fact. Watch this part.
Because I had children with the wrong person.
Okay, he did say I had children with the wrong person. Watch the next step.
But you got kids. You
Wait,
don't talk
okay,
about the
that's-
person. They're
that's
here
so
now.
different,
You don't love
though.
her?
I love my children. I just don't love the situation that I'm in with.
So why can't he say, why did he say, I love my children, but, well, if you have any level of emotional intelligence at all, you know that anytime you use the word but, it negates everything before that. Oh, maybe that wasn't common sense, but that's a fact of life. Anytime you say anything and you say but, and we're talking about emotional matters, we're talking about relationship between the people you love and stuff like that, it negates everything before that. It's like saying, I'm sorry, but you might as well not be sorry because the apology is stupid. Doesn't make any sense, right? All right, good. How come he can't say, I hate the woman I had children with? He's now found himself in a rabbit hole and he's trying to sugarcoat. Why? Because he starts to pay attention to maybe I said the wrong thing, right? Exactly. See, the cap that I'm just speaking truth and facts is huge in multiple colors all over the place on the internet. At the end of the day, we're emotional beings. You found yourself in a situation that's terrible already. You know, you probably hopefully Lapeef started signing release. He needs to start signing releases, by the way, because somebody's going to come back and say, can you take that video down? And they're going to file a lawsuit, a real one, right? Because they're getting that big. But my point is this, right? Isn't it better to start thinking about what we're saying up front before we start to say it in the name of fact and truth. We need to say it as it is. We need to be shaming with all this. Isn't it better that we slow down, realize that, listen, as human beings, we are spirits. The words, the ideologies you carry are extremely powerful. You need filters. Yes, you do. Never mind all the woke people that said, no, let's not. No, you need filters because there's some toxic shit in you that you don't want to say. That's why you don't go out there and drink and start talking anyhow. Because if you do that, there is some toxic shit in you. That's the reality. Because you've been through some experience in life that's not always pleasurable. And if you drink or you're drunk you're high on the wrong things, like for example, an ideology, right? Ideologies are created from good intentions sometimes, but they create the wrong thing because when you mix them together with certain experiences, they don't always create good results. We got to start paying attention. And this is an example of it. So I'm going to go back to some of the reactions. This is the reaction after that. Now, obviously, a lot of the women obviously overreacted to this, naturally and rightfully so, but only Anton and maybe JR was doing the moderator, right, was able to say, nah, bro, slow the F down. You're running your mouth. But we can't take this back.
No, y'all are having the wrong conversation. This man basically said he regret having his kids.
No, I did not. No,
You did.
I
He
regret.
said he didn't have a choice. He said he didn't have a choice.
No. He said he wished he would have got a vasectomy before he had the 2 kids.
That's exactly
That's
what he said.
literally what he said. Word for word.
Anton, you're not listening.
What he said is very clear. Why is it that they're arguing about it? Why? Because they're trying to backtrack. Why do you keep putting yourself in a position where you have to backtrack? There are two types of people here. They put themselves in a position where they have to backtrack, or they dig deeper rabbit hole for themselves. It's two types of people, right? And we're having more people saying, no, I'm just going to dig a deeper rabbit hole for myself. We're having more and more of those people coming out on the scenes. And then when you have a person that's toxic, take it to another level for us, you say, but that's not what I meant. It's too late. This is the society we're building. We have to be at least aware. I'm not saying you shouldn't speak the truth. What I am saying is that you may want to assess your own version of the truth. Make sure it's actually truth. Are you paying attention to the result you're creating, the outcome you're creating? Because that's the actual truth, not your words.
Because one of the first things the lady
I
said
was listening.
Hold on. One of the first things the lady said was a vasectomy is reversible. If I had got a vasectomy before I had children, I could then reverse it and choose who I want to have children with. Right or wrong.
Or you could already have children and say, hey, this is life. I'm blessed. I have my children. God had a plan for me. He took me through a process. I'm going to make the most out of it, the best out of it, and not be hateful, not say something so stupid on the internet, right? And make the most out of it. And not feel the need to be right to the point where you're saying, in one shape, form, or the other, you're saying you hate the mother of your kids. That's what you're saying, right? So it doesn't matter what you're trying to fix right now. You said the wrong thing. And now this is going to be on the internet for life, right? Your children can potentially see this. Hopefully you're doing a good job at raising your children. They will never need to use this as an ammunition against your relationship with them, right? Because again, if it aligns, they're going to be forced to say, hey, you said once upon a time that it was a regret that we're here. They're not going to pay attention to, like, I meant I should have chosen a different spot. They're not going to pay attention to that. They're going to pay attention to what hurt them the most as a human being. Gentlemen, this is our responsibility.
Or
sometimes,
but who says, listen, who in their right mind, any man in the world, says, I wish I would have got a vasectomy? Because the kids is already here, right?
The kids are here. The humans. They're here.
And what man in their right mind says, I wish I would have got it before I had the ones that I had? That's crazy, bro.
The one that has learned from his.
Stop talking. You know, one of the hardest things to do is to let go. To all of us. When you're, just stop. It's easier said than done. Yes, I get that. Just stop talking altogether. But of course, it wouldn't. Let's
That
keep going.
seen the product of his mistake.
Right. So you regret your kid. Hold on, y'all gotta.
The product of your mistake is your children. There's some things that you should never say, no matter how much you're trying to be right. If your children, let me say this to you, if your children are a product of a mistake, you should never say, never mind that you think it's logical and it's technically correct. Anyway, that's all bullshit. You should never be comfortable saying my kids are the product of a mistake. Right? You should never be that comfortable. Not especially if they're already here. Not especially if it's two of them. It's two of them with the same woman, and you refuse to look in the mirror and hold yourself accountable and say, hey, this is my cross. I'm going to carry it. But you keep running your mouth with manosphere talking points on the internet, and you expect that this will not be used against you by your loved ones later on? Oh, man. It's terrible. I hope JR find mercy and take down those videos. I doubt it.
Let me cook, please.
You're not listening what I'm saying.
I'm saying I'm not listening. I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well.
I regret.
Me too. I can hear
the
you.
person in the situation that I had children in. I don't regret the children. I love my children to death.
That's cute, but I heard what you said. So you didn't think about what you said before you said it. Stop saying that I'm not listening. I heard you well. What I heard you say is you wish you would have had a vasectomy prior to having the kids that you have. That means, and I don't know if you really comprehending what you're saying before you saying it. So maybe you should think about it.
No, it's not, because it's an ideology. That's how ideologies work. It's like religion. You know, everything is answered. Don't ask any more further questions. There's nothing new to learn. We have everything, all the answers here. Never mind listening to people. We know exactly what they're about to say. There's no need to listen to them. That's how ideologies work. They're written down in stone. They're not to be questioned. People already made up their mind what they think about issues. Right? Never mind listening to this individual. We know how all women think. Never mind listening to this man as an individual. We know that all men are scums. These are the things that's destroying our society that we need to pay attention to.
Before you say it. But what it means is that you're regretting having the kids that you have,
That's
regardless
what you
if you
said.
had them with the person that you had them with. You wish you hadn't had them kids with that woman.
Okay, that's not what you meant. That's how it's been interpreted. You need to pay attention to how your words are being interpreted. That's your responsibility as a man. You're a human being. You're not a lion, an animal, an alpha male lion. You're not that. You're a human being, and you plan to continue to interact with human beings. You don't live in a cave. You're a social being. You need to have better social skills. What you say is being interpreted a certain way. You need to pay attention to that, because that's part of your power. That's part of you engaging your power. And if you do the opposite of that, you're playing a victim, and victims are exactly that. They're going to be exactly victims. And you cannot play a victim and engage your power in the same breath. It's a losing battle. You're just shooting yourself on the legs perpetually.
Which means that those kids shouldn't exist because you wish you hadn't had them with that woman, right?
Right.
So how am I missing what you're saying?
I should not have. Because I was.
He just sees it keeps digging a deeper hole for himself, because he has the need to be right. The same thing that Kevin Samuels talks about, right? That you can't win with your need to be right, because everyone feels they are right. Instead, you're better off as a leader in this society engaging active listening. Right? Unless you're a judge or in a court, right? And obviously your job is to make someone right and wrong, right?
I need you to narrate for me. Is that what you said, Vincent?
What I said from the beginning
Is
was.
that what you? It's a yes or no.
Thank you.
You didn't say that.
Listen what I'm saying.
I'm saying I'm not listening. I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well.
I regret the person and the situation that I had children in. I don't regret the children. I love my children to death.
That's cute.
But so I don't regret my children. I love my children to death. But nigga, you just negated everything you said. That right there is I could say that over and over and over and over again, and it will be more than enough for this session. It's just a lot of men that don't understand that. They explain and mansplain themselves to death, socially speaking. Right? If you love your children, let everything stop right there. Engage the powers that you have. Control only things you can control. Things that are in the past. For example, the mistake or choice of a certain type of woman or anything that has created something that you claim to value, just stop right there. Stop talking about the but. But I'm saying you're hurting yourself. Your image matters. I did a whole session. My tribute to Kevin Samuel was about image, including what you say becomes your image in public. Yes, it becomes what you... That's the reality. That's the reality. If you rub somebody off the wrong way, they're going to remember that more than your stupid truth and facts. That's just reality.
But I heard what you said. So you didn't think about what you said before you said it. Stop saying that I'm not listening. I heard you well. What I heard you say is you wish you would have had a vasectomy prior to having the kids that you have. That means, and I don't know if you're really comprehending what you're saying before you saying it, so maybe you should think about it before you say it. But what it means is that you're regretting having the kids that you have, regardless if you had them with the person that you had them with. You wish you hadn't had them kids with that woman, which means that those kids shouldn't exist because you wish you hadn't had them with that woman, right?
Right.
So how am I missing what you're saying?
I should not have.
Are you listening to what you say? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Take a minute.
Just look at the confusion on the ladies' faces. Right? Just look at the confusion on their faces, right? They actually have empathy for him. I do too. Right? But there's somebody that we can't see his face right now. He's actively looking for a way to justify this bullshit. Let's keep going.
Are you listening to what you're saying, bro?
I understood exactly what you were saying, and I understood what I said. You're right. If I could go back into
how am I off in assessing that you wish you hadn't had the kids that you had?
No, because you're saying I regret the children. The children did nothing wrong. I don't regret them. I regret the situation.
But what you're showing is that your disdain for her is stronger than your love for them.
That's not true.
That is what you're saying.
See how it goes to truth? Everyone thinks they are telling the truth. How about that's not relevant? It's being received that way. What you're saying is your truth. Granted, it's being received differently. Or we're just gonna cap that it doesn't matter. It does. Your image matters. Your branding, the way you brand yourself in public matters. Even if you mean well. Your intentions are overrated for the most part.
No, well, that's how you interpret it.
What he said. That's not what the man is saying. What you don't realize is this. And then we didn't went over this before, so I don't know why Anton want to be brand new and start goddamn putting on this cape to save somebody.
Of course, he's putting on the cape, right? We don't like the truth, do we? The actual truth, the outcome you're creating, even in the conversation, the outcome you created in this conversation is the reactions they're getting. But anytime we get that, oh yeah, somebody's caping, right? Yeah, that's exactly what they do on the other side.
About it. The thing is that women.
Who am I saving?
Wait, no, listen, just wait. Women have choices, men don't.
That's
Wait.
Hold on.
And we have like 30 other talking points to support this bullshit, of course. We're not going to worry about that. Let's go on to this other video. So again, like I was saying, excuse me, let me drink some water. Let me play a little bit more of that.
I don't disagree with shit. I know the facts of the matter that goddamn that
bro, you don't be spitting facts. You don't spit no statistics.
Okay,
You don't be spitting no.
All right, so this video is what I wanted to go to, right? So like I was saying, there's a video that was between here and here, and they deleted it. But I guess maybe they made up behind the scenes. Now JR is deleting stuff because the two panelists, maybe they made up, they felt it was too negative. No, remember what I said. If you have an ideology you're pushing, don't be surprised if somebody takes it to the next level for you. If you're arguing that, no, I'm not creating hate. Hey, let me tell you something. Every time you're creating a solution, it's just a default of life. You're potentially 99% of the time creating a new problem. That's what creates the life, the human experience we have today. That's why we keep continuing to make money and push money around. It's the same thing. We're creating more problems. We're solving more problems, but we're creating more problems. That's the essence of life, in a weird, twisted way, right? So it's okay. I'm not mad at it. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to call all this man's attention to it. Every single. So hey, don't stop overreacting to the same problem you created with your quote unquote solutions, right? That's all I'm saying. So the deleted videos, but shout out to Drummer Boy. Drummer Boy is always reacting to Lapeef Network stuff too, and he had this here. So thank God I was able to find it. The video title said Anton and Logic beef, right? But I thought it was necessary that we'll point this out as a last minute example today of be careful what you put out there, unless you're intentionally just looking to go viral. In that case, hopefully you understand the cost of it, right? That means your legacy could be dragged just because quote unquote you're speaking truth. It's just the reality of where we are as a society, okay? If that's the case, I'm not mad at you too, but my job is to point you to the outcome of your actions. You have to hold yourself accountable for that. Look in the mirror and say, hey, I created that. If I care about solving the problem, I still need to solve the problem, right? Especially gentlemen, us, right? So let's go.
No facts, bro. You be spitting.
At the seat.
Wait, you telling her to call the person that y'all complaining about her calling the authorities about?
No, I'm complaining about Nan.
So let me prepare the ground. They were talking about how black women are the one that calls the police on the black man. It's a man is for talking point. If you've been around, you've heard this multiple times, you're tired of it. Or you like it. You also repeat the same bullshit over and over, right? It doesn't make it not truth. I'm just saying, you might want to be a little bit more creative in your talking points if you care about solution, because once we hear the same thing over and over again, it gets watered down, because again, it's like you sound like a robot, right? But they're talking about, why black women should not be calling the police. And of course, Anton, who tends to be the one who makes a little bit more sense when it comes to intersexual dynamics, he had something to say about that, and that's what this was about, and that's how it started.
You try to make an argument on something because you wait, hold up.
Really quick. The statistics say 1 in 3 women
talk to each other
experience domestic violence.
So they said, hey, what about DV, physical assaults between man and wife? And Logic said, hey, that's only minority. That's only very, very small percentage of people. But of course, they dispel that instantly, because 1 out of 3 women go through that situation. They had an argument earlier that, of course, naturally proximity, black people tend to hurt black people. White people tend to hurt white people. So that cancels everything out. But then, when they come back to the other side of the argument, they forgot about that point, right? Again, everyone is capping with this stupid argument. They're supposed to face individuals and say, how can we help you create a better life? How can we help you create better relationships? We're not having that conversation anywhere, okay?
From an intimate partner, 1 in 3.
No, wait
1 in 3.
How many?
I just want to know
1 in 3.
what do they suggest?
1 in 3.
Because listen, maybe they right. Maybe we just completely off. What would y'all suggest that women do? I'm calling the cops.
Die.
Me? I'm calling women. I'm
not asking the women.
I'm for real calling
the gentlemen that support the narrative. What would y'all say that the women should do?
What narrative?
Here go Rilla. Rilla puts on a cape, and I love Rilla to death. Rilla puts on a cape and says support one narrative. The narrative that is the black women that are calling police on the black men. That narrative right there.
Fucking police.
You said what happened?
So Anton is asking, what do you want women to do, considering the fact that they're the weaker gender, if there is a altercation, a physical assault, something physical in the household? What do you want them to do? Since you are complaining about them doing exactly that part, which is calling the police, what do you want them to do? It's a valid question, right?
Call the police.
I'm not.
And why are y'all?
So you were complaining about calling the police, but now you're saying call the police, right? All right.
Okay.
Because you ain't listening. You could wait.
Hold on, Anton. Don't disappear.
No, Anton, come back.
Don't say that, Caleb. Hold up. Just let us have the conversation.
How come when y'all niggas can't communicate effectively, ain't nobody listening to
You
you?
want to know? I'm gonna tell you, because you didn't listen. What we're talking about is men that put hands on women. You're talking about a small percentage.
Okay, so black man says 2 out of 4 men experience DV. Yes, absolutely, right? I have personal people, very close, personal people that have experienced not the most popular narrative when it comes to DV, right? So I know, but you know what they say when I bring that up? If I don't focus on individuals, they say that's anecdotal. See, everyone that has their own agenda to push, they always have a pushback. It's like the scriptures. They can always find one Bible verse to support bullshit. So what I learned is that, let me hear your story. I want to hear your story. Let's deal with you and not use the statistics. Unless I'm a professor and I'm teaching in a class, that's a different scenario. But when we're talking about fixing this issue in society, we really can't be cutting corners and blanking everybody out with the statistics, because everyone has their own anecdotal, whatever they want to point out to push against anything. We have to be careful with that, But yes, the point was that black women were calling the police on black men. That's a reality. We know that happens. We know that part, right? But the idea is that you're complaining about it. What do you want them to do? That's basically what Anton was talking about.
That's not true, Logic. I literally just looked up the statistics, and it says 1 in every 3 women will experience domestic violence from their intimate partner. And I think
not to talk about the underreported part of it. A lot of these things are not being reported, right?
70% or 60% of women are heterosexual. So it's a lot of women.
More than 40% of Black women would experience domestic violence in their lifetime, according to the Institute of Women's Policy Research Status of Black Women in the United States, in comparison to 31.5% of all women will experience domestic violence.
But wait a minute. I thought I wasn't listening now.
That's a lot.
Hold up.
No, we was talking as a lot. That's a lot.
How come whenever somebody disagree with his point, we not listening?
Well, I can't say that I disagree with Anton about a woman masculine.
Shout out to Drummer Boy again.
Because I see what Logic talking about.
I don't see what Logic is talking about. For the most part, I actually don't see it. He actually gets more emotional than everybody else on the platform. But shout out to Logic. I guess it's a conversation, right? My point is everyone should stop the cap with the emotions and stuff. Everyone gets emotional. We all do. Let me see here. Yeah.
I don't disagree with shit.
We heard you. We just disagree.
He said, we heard you. We just disagree. Just let me know who's getting more emotional here. Everyone gets emotional. That's a fact in the conversation, right? But if you were to pinpoint who's getting more emotional, do you use their words just because they say I'm not emotional? Does that make them not emotional? Or you're looking at their actions? Just watch it.
I don't disagree with shit.
I don't disagree with shit. It's like that little boy that says, I don't care. You do. You're just a little boy. Right? We got to look at your actions. Your actions speak louder than your words.
The facts of the matter that goddamn that
You see, he just said the fact of the matter. Just pay attention to when people use the word fact and truth. Every time somebody say fact and truth, I start looking at them sideways. Now I'm inclined to prove them wrong. And I try not to do that. But I'm just looking at, they're usually the one that's copying, okay? Because again, if you're so factual and truth, we should be able to look at the outcome you're creating and say, hey, you're right. Those are the fact and the truth. But if the only thing that's proving that you're speaking fact and truth is your words, yeah, it falls short.
Bro, you don't be spitting facts. You don't spit no statistics. You don't be spitting no facts, bro. You be spitting your opinion. That's not a fact.
You ain't doing no facts. You just fact, bro. That's from these goddamn chicks.
Just because you feel it don't make it a fact.
I'm not a chick.
You
I'm
don't
a woman.
you ain't out here on the streets like you say you is. You're not.
Oh, now it's time for the sign language. You're not in the streets like you claim to be. Like, he never claimed that. Again, who's getting more emotional right here? We can't have this conversation. Let's look at the. If you point that to the left, you're right. Right?
I'm telling you, you're not.
Bro, listen. I'm sure you in the streets way more heavy than I am, Logic, okay? You are Mr. Street Captain. You go straight from work and you hit the streets. I'm sure you are in the streets killing it. You kicking it with the drug dealers. You know all the statistics, but you don't cite none of the facts. And when somebody prove you wrong, you don't never say, you know what, I was off on that.
Nigga,
you not Captain Street America.
Nigga, it is fact because I say it is fact. How about that? Right? This is exactly what I see on this YouTube streets. Just people saying it's fact, and then the source is retarded. Right?
Not like you. Didn't I just bust your head by the Bible shit the other day?
No, you didn't.
You're a goddamn liar.
Every word coming out of his mouth is loaded with emotions. Is it just me? Yeah, I don't think so.
Put that video back up there.
Wait, so I have a question. Logic.
Nigga, I don't speak out emotions.
Oh, here you go. He doesn't speak out of emotion because it's said so. Never mind proving that I don't speak out of emotions with my face. Right? I don't speak out of emotions because I said I don't speak out of emotions. This is the conversations we're claiming is going to help us build our society. Again, when you're pushing certain type of rhetoric, don't be surprised if somebody take it to the next level for you. That's really the theme of this session today. Okay? If you're pushing that, if you're not paying attention to the problems you're creating, that person that's taking that problem will take it to the next level for you, and then you will end up 5 years from now saying, he took me out of context. No. You helped us create this problem we have. If we have gender war out there, you helped us create that problem. You did. We did. We created the problem. We need to first of all acknowledge that before we can claim that we're gonna help fix.
I dropped.
Nigga, you are the most emotional one on the panel.
Logic.
You're the most emotional person on the panel. Bro, hold on, wait. Hold on, Courtney. Hold on. As a matter of fact, you're more emotional than all the women on the panel. All of them.
And this come from the nigga that
shots fired. I need some sound effects. Shots fired. I'm gonna get me some sound effects very soon. I gotta get myself together here. Shots fired. I agree with Anton. But it's a moment, okay? It doesn't mean it's not a masculine man. It doesn't mean it's a beta male. It doesn't mean it, but it's definitely feminine energy moment for Logic right now.
hang out with cheerleaders. Man, you know women and you.
Oh yes, I'm being nice. Okay, I'm being, I'm being nice.
On every single show, you get more talk time. You do all of the stuff. You done got into it with every single person on the panel in less than 3 months, and you sitting here talking about somebody else being emotional.
I call it straight.
He calls it straight because he said he calls it straight. Never mind your opinions if I calls it straight or not. I calls it straight, and you better believe me because I said so. Right? Is this what we're calling the conversation that will build the black community? We need to start paying attention. When I say black, I mean Africans, black, colored people, all of us, right? Those of us that some people will consider the conquered people, we need stronger conversations. We need stronger conversations that are emotionally intelligent, that acknowledges the emotions, that drives 85% of everything we do. The biggest variable in all of this, right? We need that, okay? And we're not going to shut down the Mr. Logics of this world. We need him as well, but we need a proper balance in this conversation, right? We're not just going to say somebody is logical or factual because they say they are. It doesn't make sense if we claim we're trying to build a community.
What's wrong with being emotional?
No,
I have emotions. We're human.
I expect you, Lady T, to call me emotional.
Look,
I said, what's wrong with being emotional? You're not even listening.
That's a good question. What's wrong with being emotional? Why is it that you're taking offense to it when somebody calls you emotional? Why not engage that? Why not embrace that? Right? Excuse me, sorry. Why not embrace the possibility? Not a possibility, it's the fact. That's the actual fact. Why not embrace the fact that you're actually an emotional being like the rest of us? What is that gonna do to you? Make you feel less than a man?
I said, what's wrong with we're human? Rage, frustration, sadness, that's all emotions.
He the one that invented fade to black. I remember one episode, this dude faded to black at least 40 times.
This nigga acting like a straight hoe right now.
No, not now. I'm a hoe. Now I'm a whore. Look at you, bro. That's literally the definition of being emotional is when you start name calling
That's a
because
fact.
you can't support your argument.
That's a fact.
You're getting wiped down right now.
You're name calling, you're shaming, you're insulting, you're guilt tripping. You have a need to be right. That's precisely emotional.
Now you want to
argument from what we was talking at.
Oh, never mind all that. Look at his facial expression, right? Look at Mr. Logic's facial expression. Who is more emotional, right? I could be wrong, but I think I would say Mr. Logic right now.
Your pussy ass talk about.
Oh, the pussy ass, of course.
Look, is this not the very definition of emotional?
That's exactly what emotional is. Which Anton gets emotional too, but at least it's acknowledging that he gets emotional. I get emotional. We all get emotional. It's terrible when you can't acknowledge and admit that you're part of the problems in the society if you can acknowledge exactly what you are, because you can't see past yourself, and that's dangerous for the rest of us. That's really the message here, the lesson here. And we have way too many men saying facts over feelings, and they're literally speaking out of emotions, past hurt that they haven't really taken the time to heal.
Fade to black.
Now
let's get back on track. Let's get back on track, y'all. I think Courtney Michelle trying to say something. I think Courtney Michelle trying to say something.
Yeah, because I want to see.
Is that a lot to you?
Yeah, that's what I want to go.
Well, guys, did you?
Yeah, it's not over yet. I think there's more.
Listen, bro, just take your L. I know you trying to act like the male version of K.
The male version of K. Shots fired. Damn. Wow.
You can never be wrong.
Be coming from a weekend. From weekend.
Hold on.
Male version.
Hold on, wait.
You can't play these games with me, man.
All right, so Anton got emotional. He lost his frame really quickly. He called him out of his names too. He did. Speaking of calling a spade, I think I'm doing a better job than all this masculine alpha male.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, ladies. Hey, Courtney, stop.
Because I'm going to call you a pussy ass simp every time you say something slick.
You know, anytime I see somebody use the word simp, that's simp a lot for me. Simps tend to use the word simp first. Just watch it, okay? Usually, I used to say this, the ex-simps. Actually, they're still presently a simp because they have unrealistic expectations of other human beings, not just women, other human beings. They have this expectation that people have to be God. When they get into a romantic relationship, they're the one that tends to say, women needs to be adult too. You're dumb. You're in a romantic relationship. Both of you became children once you open your heart to a person like that. They can literally destroy you by betraying your trust. That's the reality. But you took a risk. Why? Because you fell in love. You were a simp. What made you a simp? Because you had unrealistic expectations. You expected that because you're a good person, everybody else should be good to you. You forgot that you live in a real world, a vicious world, where this betrayal is happening every day. Am I encouraging it? No, I'm not. I'm letting you know that your expectations are destroying you. There is no such thing as disappointment without expectations, and there is a spectrum that you have to pay attention to. So people who use the word simp tend to be the simps, for the most part. Anytime I see somebody use the word simp, I just say simp a lot. Simp a lot. Where can you find this video? This video is on
Bro, I'm not gonna be too many more of your pussy ass bitch ass.
Okay, man.
No. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Stop, bro. Stop.
Stop what?
That's
not embarrassing.
Yeah, this is. You see why they deleted the video? It makes sense why they deleted the video, but again, if you start throwing shots and threat at each other, it may just be too late. It may not even be about you. You're raising a bunch of boys and children. Let me see if I can post that link for you really quickly. Black man. That's it right there. Promote my boy, drummer boy, really quickly. I'm not sure if that will post through. Yeah, let's hope it. If it posts through, let me know. If it doesn't, I'll send it to you personally. All right.
Ourselves.
What makes you?
You said we was having a
Bro, stop, man. Hold on. I'm having a conversation. What make you think you can keep calling me out my name, bro?
The same way you.
Now Anton is getting emotional, but rightfully so. It's not a crime to be emotional. That's what Lady Mogulette said earlier. It's not an indictment if you get emotional. Why is it that when men hear you got emotional, they start taking an offense? You need to build better masculine frame for yourself. That's going to show in your actions, not what you say. Just because you say you're masculine and alpha doesn't make you alpha. The market, the same talking point we use, the market determines and decides what you are. In this context, you don't live in a cave. You live in an environment, society like the rest of us, with other people. The leaders of this world are people that pay attention to that, not people that run their mouth, right, to tell us how masculine they are all the time. Those are the bottom, right? All right, let's get it here.
Call me a fucking female, nigga. You call me a male version of fucking K. So
This is embarrassing.
Wait. Oh, Courtney is getting triggered. So he said, see what I said about when you're fixing one problem and you're creating a new problem. We all do it. It's bad and terrible when we're not aware we're doing it. It's bad and terrible when we're not aware that we're creating new problems when you fix a problem. That also is not an indictment. It's just the reality of life. When you're fixing a problem, you're creating new problems. So now in that same sentence, you call me. Let me rewind that for you to hear that really quickly.
You call me a male version of fucking K.
You call me a male version of fucking K. Now, K can listen to that and take an offense. I doubt if she will. Actually, K has better masculine frame than most of this, my friends. I'm sorry to say. Okay? I'm sorry. Okay, actions. Actions speak louder than words, right? Right? But you could be talking about a person that will now take an offense to the you actively trying to fix right now instead of you to let go of this conversation. Actively trying to fix it, but you're offending a new person. You're creating new problems.
This is embarrassing. It's just too much.
Oh, in addition to that, Courtney is getting triggered. Right? Let me put my cape on and help save Courtney right now. Right? Now, you're creating more problems. Right? This is the reality. When you engage your feminine energy, especially when you're not aware that's what you're doing, it's okay. We all have feminine and masculine energy, right? But if you're not aware, you will self-destruct, okay? Women will smash you on the face 100% of the time. It's just the way it works. And you will still be right.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Hey,
it's embarrassing.
Hold on. Go ahead, lady.
So, in the same way
It's not embarrassing, it's a show, after all, right?
that we said earlier, that men equate
Call me out my name one more time, bro.
respect. Come on,
That's a threat.
Anton.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Nah, bro.
Let's go.
Call me out my name
Come
one more
on.
time.
Let's go.
Can we move on?
Call me out my name one more time.
Hey.
Call me out my name one more time, bro.
Hey.
But why?
Hey, let's go. Then.
All right. So when it becomes what you gonna do, what the fuck you gonna do? What the fuck you gonna do, right? Listen, it's a show. It's not that deep. Okay? It's a show. But this is a reflection of things that actually happen to all of us at the end of the day. It is what it is. But we see this in our relationships. Right? We see this all the time in our relationships. So let's not cap. It is what it is. Let's continue to have the conversation. These are the things you want to pay attention to when it comes to application to real life relationships. When it comes to real life relationships, the downside of this is going to be greater. You will lose the people you love. You lose your children. you end up in the court of law. You end up in the child support court of law, and it just gets worse. Shout out to you. Hopefully, you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one.